Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're outside today, so if you can hear some birds and things, hopefully we won't be disturbed by anything louder than that. My name's Ilana Waxman. Thank you so much for coming back. And today we are talking about manifesting the big things, the big ones. We're talking job, house, business, partner, holidays, moving countries, maybe it's getting a new car, even the big ones. Because I'm being called to emphasize to you and tell you that number one, no one promised anything was easy, okay? So let's talk about how much action, how much trust and faith on the one hand and how much action on the other. I feel like this is a dilemma for all of us, especially when it comes to manifesting, because it's like, well, do you want me to sit back and trust, or do you want me to get going and get revving and get this thing moving? And the answer is both. How can we, on the one hand, trust and pray and use our positive affirmations and know deep in our heart that we are loved, we are taken care of, we are divinely inspired, we are divinely guided, we are whispered and nudged towards every next move, every next step? And on the other hand, how can we apply the correct amount of action? And Abraham Hicks actually talks about inspired action, rather than forcing because the mind thinks it has to, or forcing because the mind can't cope with the in-between of being here and wanting it and being there and having it. Because there's always going to be, that's what manifesting is. It's what we do with the void between the desire and the arrival of the thing. It's the void. What do we do when we're in that void? So applying the correct amount of trust and faith and aligned and inspired action that is aligned and inspired, meaning you're going with the current, not pushing against it. You know, we all know this analogy. I'm going to say it again. When you are in the open water, maybe you're diving, surfing, whatever, and you get caught in a current, you go with the current. You don't try and swim against it, because when you're swimming against a current, you ain't gonna win. When you're pushing against the will and plan and intention of the universe, you ain't gonna win. It's like sometimes we can so deeply and desperately want something, but the timing's not aligned. The stars are not in position. The things are not, the flowers haven't sprouted, and it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all gravy. But what do we do with that void? So action that is both aligned and inspired, that feels like you are moving with the universe, moving with the current, moving with the planets and the stars, rather than against. And letting the trust and the faith and the daily positive affirmations be the water and the sunlight of the seed of faith. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. The second thing I want to talk about is, how do you feel about the thing that you're trying to manifest? Because if you feel frustrated, if you still feel grief, if you still feel pain and loss and disturbed about the delays and the dysfunctions and the heartbreaks and the why didn't that work out, you have to make sense of all of that and be at peace with all of that before you're in the position to actually co-create the new. So I'll just say that again in a different way. When we're in this void of what between knowing what we want and getting the thing, if we're stuck in why were there so many delays and disappointments and heartbreaks, and the reason I say grief is because there is grief to be had. There's a version of you that wanted the thing and they didn't get it, and that sucks. That's pain, that's loss. So we have to grieve that prior version of us that really wanted that thing that didn't get it. We have to grieve it, number one. And number two, we have to understand it was not for me. They want the best for me. So if there was something that I really wanted and I didn't get, it's because it truly wasn't for me. So I'm not asking you to even logically understand, because there's things and circumstances that you're not supposed to be able to understand. We don't have that bird's eye all-seeing view. They do. So even if you can't understand, there's a job you really wanted and you didn't get it. There's an apartment you really wanted and you didn't get it. There's a person you really wanted to be your partner and it didn't happen. Grieve the loss. Really important. Let it go, grieve the loss, and trust. They're willing to delay you because they love you so much. How can we reframe delay? They're willing to delay you because they love you so much that they are willing to say, no, not good enough, that thing. No, not good enough, that thing. Even when you thought that was the best that you could ever have. The best house I ever saw, the best job I ever wanted, the best person I could ever dream of. If you don't get it, it's because they're lining up something better. You don't know what that better thing is because you've not seen it. You've not experienced it. And actually, at the end of the day, you don't know you're worth it. But can you trust? Can you trust today that me, with my limited mind, with my limited awareness, with my limited consciousness, knowing that there's a whole orchestrated universe out there, and I'm one very important, but one interconnected and integral piece of this giant tapestry that I couldn't conduct and orchestrate even if I wanted to, even if I whatever, because I can't, because I'm just human. But I have a spiritual team backing me all the way. And if you don't get something that you thought you wanted, or if there's something you really want, you haven't got it yet, it's because they're lining up something better. Something that when you get it, you're going to be like, whoa, now it all makes sense. So you can't necessarily logically do the whole going back and making sense. I mean, I encourage you to try. I encourage you to meditate on it, journal on it. Think about something that there's a loss in your heart still because you didn't get it. And I want to invite you to try and understand that it wasn't for you because there's something better coming for you, and you don't even know what that better thing is, but you're worthy of it. So they know what you're truly worthy of, and they know what's coming in. So at the end of the day, this is all a game of patience. This is all a game of patience. And it doesn't mean you'll be waiting for the rest of your life, and it doesn't mean you're not supposed to want it right now. You're allowed to want, to desire, to feel driven towards that thing. Come on, I'm ready, I want it. Where are you? That's all good. But if it hasn't come up until this point, it's because they have a better plan. And when you are in the space when you can receive that better plan, and you will, pray for it. Don't forget my previous video, pray for it. When you receive it, you'll get it. You'll understand why. Because we can all think of things that happen to us that it's like, I didn't even know a house could feel this luxurious. I didn't even know a person could be this suited to me. I didn't even know a job could be like this. I didn't even know. Because you don't know. You're not supposed to know. We can't predict the future, and we can't know what's outside of the logical mind. Loves drawing on experience of the past. And when we're trying to manifest a better future than we had in the past, there really isn't so much for the mind to be involved in it. Because the mind's like, okay, well, I've got all this data of all these past experiences, and I'm just assuming that that's it. That's the container. Everything that we've already had, I'm going to just draw all the lines and dot the T's, and that's it. That's the world that we can manifest from. And the universe is like, smash that completely, because there's always better if you just believe, if you just trust, if you just know you're worthy of it, and if you just surrender to the forces that are far more equipped than you to bring that thing in. The logical mind can only go so far. It's a blessing, but it can only go so far. So when it comes to manifesting, believe in that which you have not yet seen. That's the message. Believe in the things that you haven't yet experienced, you haven't yet seen. Someone who's going to be like, I didn't even know they made people like this. A house that's going to be like, I didn't even know they made houses like that. Oh my gosh, I can even grow my business to higher heights than I ever even thought possible. It's all coming. Just trust that you are not the one making the plan. But what you can do is listen. What's the next best step? What's the aligned and inspired action where the trust and the faith and the positive affirmations are the fuel in that tank, but I'm never going to be trying to drive in the wrong direction. I'm going to flow with the current of the universe. And I'm going to surrender. Bottom line. I can take the aligned action, which means listening to the nudges, listening to the guidance, listening to the inspiration, looking out for the signs and synchronicities. But I'm not going to be able to see 10 steps ahead. You feel me? That's why I called this a void. There's a void between where you are and what you want. Now, manifesting is all about what you do with that void. And that void can sometimes look really, really, really black and feel really, really bleak. But all you need to know is that they know exactly what they're doing. You must trust they know exactly what they're doing. And you'll always receive the next step, the next action to take, the next little seed to sow, the next little move. And that's all you ever need to know. That's all you're ever supposed to know. And the rest beyond, don't even let your mind get stuck, because the mind will try and freak you out. We don't know. The mind doesn't like certainty, but remember, the mind is super, super limited. All it has is the data of your past experiences up until now. And you're trying to manifest something so much better, something so different, something so magnificent that only the universe can see, because it hasn't happened to you yet. So trust that the future can feel blind. But what isn't blind? Your faith and your knowledge and your trust in the divine universe, God, whatever you want to call it, that they are planning, they're working, they're creating, all for you. And if I can ask you the most important question right now, what do you know in your heart, in your soul, in your body, in your gut, is the next step. And that's all you ever need to know. What's the next step? I'm not even supposed to know 2 steps ahead, just the next one. Because every step opens a door that's like a portal. Once you've done the next step, it will open up a whole new reality and universe in which that second step becomes available. But the second step might not even necessarily be on your plane, on your sphere, on your awareness. Because you need to take the next step, and that opens a portal. And then you take a next step, and that opens up another portal. Just like when you're playing video games and there's all these levels, yeah? You're not supposed to worry about the next level. You're just supposed to worry about where you are now. And know that you're held, and know that you're guided, and know that you're loved. And trust all that is, and all that has been. So let go of those losses. Let go of that grief. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Just speaking up there because there was a car. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Everything happened for a reason. Your logical mind is not supposed to understand every iota and detail of that reason. But can you trust that they know what's good, they know what's up, they know what's crack-a-lacking, they know. Just ask yourself, what do I know in my heart is the next step? How can I hold on to everything I desire and also release it? So, thank you so much for watching. Please like and please subscribe, because this content really needs to get out there so we can spread the light and spread the love and spread the message. I'm Ilana Waxman. Thank you again so much, and I'm hoping and praying that you have the most beautiful day and that you get all your dreams come true.